Summer 2024 is increasingly looking hot and dry for a big chunk of the country as drought conditions will expand across parts of the U.S. in the weeks ahead. But an active jet stream across the northern tier of the U.S. may bring some relief in the form of hefty thunderstorms. We'll have a detailed look coming your way next. Welcome back, everybody, to the Weather Nerds YouTube channel. I'm your host, meteorologist Greg Majeski, your personal weatherman. And boy, is it hot and steamy across the nation, not only for this weekend, but going for the week ahead. And I have the latest outlook from the Climate Prediction Center that's going to take us well into the month of July. Now, before we get into that, first, I do want to thank the new subscribers to the channel. And if you haven't yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? You can add this in your YouTube feed on a regular basis. So all you got to do is please hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you'll learn on future content. And as always, if you like the report, please give me a thumbs up or leave me a comment down below. It really does help with the YouTube algorithm and allows us to get out to a bigger audience in the YouTube universe. All right, we got plenty to get into looking at the Climate Prediction Center. Let's go take a look at that first. So first off, taking a look at the 6 to 10 day outlook here from June 27th through July 1st, you can see a little pocket of below normal temperatures here across the Pacific Northwest. But again, the majority of the country will be seeing levels running well above normal as we're going to continue into this pattern into the first of the month. As we take a look at the precipitation over the same period, with that active jet stream that we're anticipating, we could see some clusters of storms and maybe pockets of severe weather. I couldn't rule that out, especially across the northern plains and there into parts of the Midwest as well. Now, as far as the 8 to 14 day outlook on as far as the temperature is concerned, again, almost the entire country looking very warm indeed, especially across areas of the mid-Atlantic, stretching back into the south central parts of the United States and parts of the southeast with some very warm temperatures. And to go along with that, as far as the 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook, we're starting to see some developments of some pockets of drier weather really starting to expand a little bit more here across the portions of the Intermountain region now toward California, and a little slither here across the southeast as well for this period. And we can go out even further looking at the 3 to 4 week outlook here as far as the temperatures. You can see, again, real very warm temperatures for the mid-Atlantic and the southeast and their Intermountain region as well. And with those dry, warm conditions continuing, that means you're going to see areas of the drought conditions also beginning to expand as well, as with below normal precipitation expected here across parts of Kentucky and into the southeast, as well as for Idaho and stretching into California and stretching over toward Montana and Wyoming. The only wild card as we head deeper into the summer months, especially going into July, will be dependent on how things are looking in the tropics. Short term, for the next 7 days, we're looking at the potential for tropical development there, about 50% there in the Bay of Campeche, but that is expected to move into Mexico. And then beyond that, it should begin to quiet down just a little bit. Again, June, climatologically speaking, this blue zone, that's where things typically start to fire off. And as we go deeper into the summer months going into July, we start to see some changes here as activity picks up typically off the eastern seaboard right through here. And then you also notice a couple of zones down here into the Western Caribbean as well as into the Atlantic, which potentially could see some tropical development. So anything that comes and forms down here that makes its way into perhaps the southeast or into the east coast can definitely impact the precipitation outlooks as we go into July. So shifting over to the latest European model data here is we're going to be looking at a fairly active jet stream. That's that river air that kind of drives the weather systems across the country. It's not as active into the summer months, but it's still there. And when you get these little dips in the jet stream like here going into Monday, for example, you're looking at opportunities where you can get some thunderstorms and some severe weather as we go through the next 10 days. So every time you see that active jet stream kind of make that dip, you'll get another one there going into the northeast again, going in toward Thursday. And then we got another piece of energy that comes into the high plains here, going into Saturday, from Friday into Saturday, from the 28th and the 29th. As you can see, the jet stream energy up this way. That'll be opportunities for severe weather. So we got a few of those rounds here over the next 10 days, which is possible. The other thing I want to point out as I back this up once again is we're going to be watching this area of high pressure here. It's going to kind of be meandering here. So I'll just kind of take it out here to the 25th. You kind of see the high sitting right in here. And it's going to kind of shift here toward the east a little bit and just kind of meander back and forth. But what that's going to mean is underneath that high pressure dome is you're going to see fairly dry weather and obviously very hot temperatures there that'll kind of propagate from the south central states into the southeast, and it's just going to kind of sit there for the next 10 days. So the active weather track will stay for the northern tier, but the southern portions of the United States will pretty much stay hot and pretty much very dry. So tracking the storm systems as we go from Saturday into Sunday, as we look at the precipitation, we're going to see these storms kind of come out of the Midwest and going into the Northeast as we go throughout the day on Sunday. So this will be the active zone here to watch potentially for some thunderstorms, and some could be on the severe side here throughout the day on your Sunday. As we progress further into the future, as we can watch for our next system coming down, there'll be one that'll be coming down as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday. You're seeing some active weather there again across the high plains from Michigan, stretching back down toward Iowa. So this area right here will need to be watched closely for, again, another round of some severe weather. This frontal system will kind of make its way into the south, into the Midwest, and into the Northeast as we go into Wednesday and Thursday, where eventually, basically, this frontal system will kind of wash itself out. But some hefty thunderstorms along that boundary, not out of the question going into Wednesday and Thursday. And then we'll turn our attention back to the west again with another system. This will be going into Friday. We'll have to watch this area right here into Iowa and into Minnesota, potentially looking at some active severe weather in there as well. As that next system pulls on off toward the east, so you can kind of see again that active weather there throughout the day there on into Friday and into Saturday as that pushes off again into the Northeast, and yet another round going into Sunday into the following weekend. Almost looks like a repeat once again, where we could see some hefty thunderstorms along that boundary as that clears the Northeast. Again, this time of year, you really can't get those frontal systems to really press too far down south, and with that ridging of high pressure in place, and it's going to kind of keep precipitation chances down to a minimum. So finally, take a look at some of these temperatures for the week ahead. As you look at there on Sundays, we're going to be seeing pretty good 90s there across the big bulk of the southeast, obviously, with temperatures rolling the 90s. Even some 90s here across portions of Missouri and into Illinois and into portions of Indiana. As we're going to take this forward here a little bit, again, you look at the extreme heat, your timestamp there in the upper right-hand corner there as we go into throughout the day on Monday. You're seeing the extreme heat from Missouri back down toward Georgia once again. And as we wait for this next system to come in here, going in toward Wednesday especially, you're going to see some temperatures here really spike, especially across areas of Georgia. Check that out there on areas there on Wednesday afternoon. We're looking at temperatures popping into the triple digits here across from Augusta, heading down toward Macon and getting down towards Savannah. Some very, very hot temperatures there. Obviously some rain-cool temperatures back here as that frontal system sets off some thunderstorms. And it pretty much just stays hot and dry for a lot of this area there, as I'm kind of shifting through here again pretty quickly as you look at the heat that's just going to be sticking around there across the southeast right for the next 10 days. So a couple of real hot days ahead with some triple digits. Shifting out toward the west coast, you can definitely see how that cooler weather there across the northwest is going to kind of continue to be prevalent out that way. So if you want some relief in the summer, definitely head up toward Washington, maybe up toward Seattle or so. Look at the interior here, looking at morning lows coming into Monday morning, sitting in the 40s and 50s, and the higher elevations actually in the 30s still. So pretty cool up that way. But again, the high plains are going to continue to stay quite warm here. As you can see, triple digits here into portions of Kansas and into Oklahoma with some very warm temperatures there. Obviously here across the desert southwest in the interior sections of California. As we go ahead and step this further into the future, again, it continues to stay quite warm there across the southwest. Again, the interior sections of the northwest will continue to stay both those below normal temperatures, but still quite steamy and hot as we head toward Tuesday afternoon. Look at the triple digits once again across the big portion of the middle portion of the country and across the southwest and the interior portions of California continue to bake into Tuesday as well. Continue to go forward again. You can see that cool air still kind of holding on across the northwest, that's for sure. But the interior and the southwest continue to bake as we go into Friday and into Saturday. Continue to see the triple digit heat across the interior sections from Kansas down toward Texas, as well as the southwest in the interior sections of California baking again. But looks like morning lows on Saturday. Hey, these are pretty nice. Check these out here for Saturday morning on the 29th for Montana and into Wyoming. They got a nice cool little shot there coming down out of Canada with below normal temperatures briefly coming into that area. But again, those areas that continue to see the heat, they're going to get no relief across the south central plains and across the southwestern portion of the United States until probably the monsoon season kicks in there a little bit later into the summer. So as you can see, it's going to continue to be pretty much hot and a lot of dry weather across big portions of the country as we go from June and into the month of July. Obviously, we're going to continue to monitor the activity out into the tropics with the Stormbreaker report. So if you'd like to get these specials in your YouTube feed, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you're alerted when I upload content, especially out in the tropics. And if you enjoyed this report, again, please leave me a comment down below. I do appreciate you guys' support. All right, that'll do it for this edition. You guys take it easy. We'll see you on the next one. Until then, be good, stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.